Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Nate's won February. Congratulations to Nate. We have Kronenanka. We have a lot of fun. Let's get over to the show. Nate, you did it. You did it. Congratulations, representing the hosts.
Listen, once in a lifetime, Fub, so I'm going to enjoy it while I can.
Yeah, I would like to say this is the first of many, but let's go with this as the founding moment. I was rooting for you. I'm pretty sure if we go back and watch the last show again, we were talking about one of us women.
Well, I think we talk about it every show, Fub, if we're being honest. If we're being honest, we talk about it every show.
Well, it's finally happened. So I don't know if you want to let. I mean, how did it happen? What did you do differently? How was it? Like, what was the magic that you did?
So when I coming into February, my team's been decent all season. It hasn't been amazing, but it's been decent. Mm-hmm. And so I figured, after watching some of the guys in the last couple of months talk about how they targeted a month as though that was going to be the month that they really went after stuff, I said I should do that. I said let me try that. So I said, okay, so I looked at February and I said, okay, there's a lot of double game weeks. There's some weeks where there's teams that aren't playing. So I said, let me try to see if I can maybe finagle something in this month. So I triple captained Rashford on his double game week. I used my free hit to substitute in a bunch of guys for their double game weeks. I think I substituted in Saka and Mahrez and De Bruyne for their double game weeks. Mm-hmm. So I used two of my chips, or my tokens, or whatever they are, and it was close at the end. It was whatever reason I remember looking at the month and I forgot that at the end of the month United were going to be missing for the League Cup final, and I hadn't planned for that. But I have 3 United players in my team, so I was going into that last game week. I was like, man, I didn't plan for this. I didn't really want to use up my last chip, so I said, let me just hope for the best. So I think I made one transfer. I think I had a transfer in the bank, so I used one. And I just hoped for the best, and my team came through, man. It was down to the wire. I think I ended up winning by 1 point, and it was. I was sitting there. I had the calculator out, Fub. I was counting up bonus points. I was doing it all. I was doing it all.
Yeah, you sent me a message saying
coming up with all the different permutations. I was like, if he gets subbed on, I'm gonna get 1 point more, and he gets subbed on. I was like, oh man, I was a mess. I was a mess that last week.
Yeah, you were, but you know what? You won, and congratulations to you. I think you did the strategy that was needed, and now you get to reap the rewards of that. So very well done, Nate.
Thank you.
I think you basically set a standard. You set the bar for me to try and attain.
It's a matter of time, folks. It's a matter of time.
Yeah, I gotta do. I have all my chips. I just gotta
see. There you go.
1 month.
You gotta figure out. And a lot of people have used most of the chips now, so you might find a month where you're kind of in there.
Yeah.
A little bit of an advantage over other people that have used some chips and this and the other. The trick is that triple captain, man. You got to make sure that triple captain is used and it gets used well. I was very fortunate. I used it on Rashford on a week where, he scored 30 points. So that 20 points, I think. So that triple captain. That's 60 points right there. It was awesome.
That's what makes the difference, I think.
Yeah.
I just saw some of your scores. So you actually had 97 points in game week 22 and 23. That's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was that 87 and 25 in game week 25 that I was sweating over that because I think I did go in with some players not playing. I think I actually didn't have a full team in game week 25. So that was hairy. I was sweating. I was sweating in game week 25. I can tell you that much.
One of my favorite parts of the show is actually coming up next, Nate. It's Kronenanka.
Sure.
And I know that you kind of are the Kronenenko master.
Well, I haven't won any, but in terms of organizing, I'm sure.
Absolutely. We very seldom talk about the previous winners. So last month we ended up having the total shots on target, and the correct answer was 85, and that was game week 24 for February, and it ended up being a 3-way tie.
That was good.
Crazy. What were the chances? I think that was the only number of total shots that had 3 people.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Philip Lawrence, Ryan Roberts, and Jonathan Eve. Congratulations for winning the February Kronenenko. And I guess the next one that we're going to do is, drum roll please. Over to you, Nate.
We are going to be doing total shots and total goals.
Yes.
So none of the shots on target stuff, we're erasing that. It's just total shots in general and total goals. So it's going to be a big number, and we're doing it for game week 29, which has a lot of football in it. So it's going to be a very big number. So it's going to be, we'll see some interest, and I think we'll see a wide range of guesses. So it's total shots plus total goals for game week 29. Deadline will be as usual, morning of first game. I think it's 8:30.
Yep.
So get your answers in. We'll have the link as usual. The password will be the same, Bob.
Let's go with this one. Password.
Skilla, sure.
Skilla there. That's the password.
There we go.
Skilla.
There we go. That's the password.
Nice
That's
and
the
easy.
password to get into the submission portal.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing for Kronenenko in game week 29.
Yeah, I think it ends up being a really, like you said, a really jam-packed
There's a lot of games
in there. City, Liverpool's a big one.
Yep, celebrate your wins, because you never know when Liverpool's going to slap you up 7-0. So
that's it. I was waiting for that, and I wasn't going to bring it up. You guys
look, it needs to be spoken about. It needs to be spoken about. It's
yeah.
It happened. I don't think the result. I think the result flattered Liverpool a little bit. We were very poor in the second half. There's no question about that. But I think that the 7-0 score. I mean, Liverpool had 8 shots on target. They scored 7 goals. That's so unrealistic.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
It is what it is. Going to Anfield is always tough. As poor as Liverpool have been this season, they have been very good at home still. It's their away form that's done them in. So going to Anfield, I actually expected us to lose. I obviously didn't expect us to lose 7-0. But I did go into it thinking that we would probably be lucky to scrape a draw. With the amount of games United have played, the fixture build-up, coming off the high of winning the League Cup final. I felt like we were going to slip up at some point, and going to Anfield seemed like that place. Seemed like that place where you would drop points. Now, I did not expect the performance that we got in the second half. That was very poor. But, we bounced back. Today aside, the result against Southampton was just ridiculous. I'm sick and tired of the refs in the Premier League and VAR, but what can you do?
Yeah, I didn't actually watch the game today, and for anybody who's watching the show, we're recording this a little bit earlier, sort of start of the previous week. But I think, you at some point you got to realize VAR is there to help, and you should be using that, using the technology to your advantage.
I think from jump, I've been very much against VAR. I think that for subjective decisions, like something like a foul, you can show 10 football fans the same foul, and all 10 of them are going to say something different about it. I don't think you're ever going to get a consensus. Now, I get that they say, "Oh, well, you played a lot of the law," but we're seeing that that's not the case. We're seeing the inconsistency from VAR in general. It's not a robot making decisions; it's humans making decisions. So if we're gonna have human error anyways, well, then why rob the game of the spontaneity and the ebb and flow of it by cutting away to have some guy in a room a couple hundred miles away looking at it on a camera? I just, for what we're getting from VAR, it's not worth what we're giving up. It's not worth what we're giving up. Now, I'm all for video assistance for things that aren't subjective. So like goal line technology, that's not subjective. The ball either crossed the line or it didn't. There's no questions. There's no ambiguity. It either crossed the line or it didn't. I'm all for using technology to aid in those situations. But in subjective calls, I'm just over it. It's so poorly implemented. I don't think it'll ever solve any problems. We're going to sit here and debate about referee calls, whether there's video assistance or not. So we might as well not rob the game of that. Football's such a game of momentum. It's such a game of momentum and opportunity, and VAR robs the game of those things. When you cut away for 3 minutes for somebody to look at a camera, you're robbing a team of momentum. You're robbing a team of that momentum they were building. So I'm firmly against VAR the way it's being used right now. And today was just yet another example of that for me. But it is what it is. Let's keep things on a happy note.
Yeah, let's keep it on a happy note. I do understand where you're coming from, and I think it's definitely not a perfect system. And maybe there needs to be some sort of review, or I think there is room for improvement. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, definitely.
And with that, I think we said we were going to keep this show special and enjoyable. So we got 2 more segments. The first one we're going to go to now is the water bet. Nate and I finally squared away the water bet from last season. How far we've come, because remember that water bet was about whether Arsenal or United would make top 4 last season. Now neither of us did, and that's why both of us lost the water bet. Yep.
But
now this season,
you look at,
we're top 3. Both of us top 3.
It's look at the turnaround, man. It's been enjoyable, I think, for both of us.
Let's get over to the water bet now, and let everybody enjoy it.
All right, guys. Rock, paper, scissors. All right, so you're getting 1/3 on you first. All right. Yes. All right, so then we got to spin the wheel to figure out what type of throw we're gonna have here. Pocketeer. I don't know if you could do that.
I need a pocket.
I'll put the water in your pocket. All right, so this is for Arsenal. I'm thinking about doing that here. Here we go. There we go. And for myself. Let me get it back up. We'll spin the wheel again and find out what I'm gonna have done to me. Maddie Snapback. So,
Maddie Snapback.
Normal cup, normal distance throw. The striker tosses the water sidearm. You're throwing.
To go like this.
You're throwing sidearm.
Okay,
Don't let go of the cup.
Well, we made it. We did it.
It's good to get that off our backs, I think.
Yes, it is. It is. We can move forward now.
Yes. Yes, we can.
Yes. The final segment, which is what all the girls and boys have been waiting for, is the lightning round.
Yes.
Lightning round.
Yes.
Here we go. There we go. So without further ado, you know the rules, Nate. We have not practiced this. I have not prepared anything. And we'll do 1 minute of questions.
Sure. 1 minute. Okay. All right. Real lightning round. Everybody else got like 3. All right.
Was it 3? Oh, do you
Get a
want to
little,
do?
that's cool. Let me get a little. I'll just get a little stretch in. I'm all right.
Okay. That's
I'm a
good.
finely tuned athlete here, Fub. I can deal with the lightning round.
I can see that. All right, the clock is running. Okay, first question is, what is the best burger in Bermuda?
Ooh, that's a big question. I know it's not a thing anymore, but I'm still gonna say Dorothy's because that I've yet to find a burger that beats that. So yeah, I'll still say Dorothy's. Mr. Chicken's burger is very good though.
Yeah, you're right. I like Mr. Actually, I had Mr. Chicken's burger 2 nights ago. It was
Yeah.
really good. Next question. If you had to choose an animal to have in your studio right now with you, which animal would it not be?
Cat.
You don't like cats.
Oh goodness me! How long we got for? This is a lightning round.
I'm not a big fan of cats. I'm not a big fan of cats either. You know what? I did realize we only got through 2 questions, so we're gonna reset the clock. I did not plan it. Well, anybody that thinks that we do rehearse this, rest assured, we do
That was the easiest question I've ever answered in my life, folks. That was so easy.
Just a regular cat. Any color? Any particular color
No,
that you
just cat.
You like
Just cat.
least?
I always say that if a cat was a person, if there was a person that had all the personality quirks of a cat, you wouldn't like that person. Very plain and simple. You wouldn't like that person. You wouldn't want to hang out with them. You just wouldn't like them. So I don't understand the fascination with cats. I get that they're cute. I get that, but no, not for me.
Yeah, I just have this fear that the cat would just switch off and start scratching me in my face.
Yeah, well, that happened to me when I was a kid. So maybe it's PTSD. I don't know, but
Yeah,
no. But that's a real fear with cats.
it is.
Like I said, if a human had cat personalities, you wouldn't like that human. Very simple.
Yeah, you're right. And I never really thought of it that way, but I would agree. The next question in the lightning round is Somerset or St. George's?
Oh, okay. So I thought the last question was easy. This is the easiest question I think I've ever had to answer in my life. I enjoy cheering for winners. I enjoy cheering for teams that know how to pick more than one color when somebody asks them to pick 2 colors. So I am a Somerset fan until I die. There is no questions about that in the slightest.
Okay, all right.
Just like with cats, if somebody came up to you and said pick 2 colors and you said blue and blue, you'd be like, "What's going on with you? What's happening? What's? Did you not hear the question? I don't understand."
Hilarious. Just spoken like a true Somerset supporter. You would get along really well with my wife. Okay, so we got 2 questions left for the lightning round. What would you say was the best memory you have about Man United?
Me personally, it would be the time I was at Trafford and we beat Liverpool. I know most United fans would say something about 1999 or 2008. I don't think I was old enough to fully appreciate those at the time. But being in Trafford when we beat Liverpool 2-1, watching Rashford score, I remember I almost passed out from celebrating. It was just an awesome experience to be in Old Trafford to with that level of energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably my personal best Manchester United memory.
And you are a season ticket holder.
Yes.
At Manchester United. Okay.
I was not at that time though. I was there. I was there on
Okay.
somebody else's ticket. Yes.
Okay. And I guess the last question was, can you please explain to people in the next 1 minute and 44 seconds how you were roped in to be a host on this show?
I mean, you and I have known each other for a very long time. You're good friends with my brother growing up, so we've known each other, probably since I was about 10, I don't know, 10 or 11.
Yeah. Yep.
And, I think you asked me, and I said, yeah, sure. I mean, I enjoy talking about football. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You have your own. I remember you had mentioned to me that you had a podcast that you were on as well.
Yes. So during lockdown, I had started a
email.
podcast. I started a podcast with a couple of my friends from boarding school in Canada.
Yeah.
So I had been dabbling in podcasting a little bit.
Yeah.
Would hardly call myself any sort of seasoned expert or veteran, but we'd recorded 30 or so episodes or something. And it's something I enjoy. It's something that like as I think has proven itself out, I'll sit here and chat about football all night long. I have no questions, no qualms about doing that at all.
Yeah, I think in terms of who kind of is the football expert out of the two of us, I would say you by far. And I actually spoke to my wife about the show and how there's very little preparation for it, but it always seems like you're on top of the finer details of what's been going on with the league, and we're always trying to make the show better. I feel like you have definitely improved the show more than.
Well, I appreciate that, Fub, but I'd say I watch a lot of football YouTube channels, so I steal a lot of my ideas from them. The ones that I agree with, I don't just spout things randomly, but I do. I'm able to steal some ideas from them of talking points or things that might have happened, and then obviously come up with my own spin on them as well. But I appreciate that. I enjoy recording it, and like I said, I love talking about football. I spend far too much of my life surrounding sports in general, but obviously football being probably top of the list.
Yeah, I enjoy football as well, particularly this season. And I have a little surprise for you. So I've actually been considering extending the EPL Wizards to next season. And I think it's very much due to your contributions and the amount of time, energy, work you put in for Crown and Anchor and helping with the show. I think one of the things that may be required to achieve that is that we may have to charge a small fee, sort of like an admin fee for the 2023-2024 season. But still working on the details of that. I think anything that is charged will go towards us doing the show, also to pay for things like bank transfers, and it's not a way to make money necessarily, but just to pay for our time. And also I think you should receive something for your time as well.
I think that you've put a lot of effort into this league, Fub, over the years, and I think it's not like you said, not necessarily paying you, but helping you with things like bank transfer fees and that type of thing. I don't think that's out of the question. And I think everybody, including myself, appreciates the work that you've put in over the years to set this league up the way that you have. And I know I wouldn't have any qualms about paying that extra little bit. So. Especially if I'm going to be allowed to win a month every single year. So that's what we agreed upon, right? That's what we agreed upon. I get to win a month every year.
You do. But having said that, there was nothing done untoward. You won fair and square, just for the record. As long as you earn it, you can win it every year.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. That sounds fair.
So yeah, I mean, I really enjoy doing the show with you. Even just catching up. I don't really speak to you outside of the show much because of work and because of life.
And life, and you got a kid, and
and then you got.
We're in our 30s. We're in our 30s, Fub.
We are. That's what happens. That's what happens in our 30s, I suspect. But that's it from me. I mean, I didn't have anything else earth-shattering to share with the group, but I guess did you have any wise words for anybody who any hosts that maybe want to win a month, maybe April perhaps? Any words of wisdom you want to share at all?
I wish that I could pretend to have any sort of actual sage advice when it comes to fantasy Premier League. I got very lucky, but use your chips and hope that it works out. That's the best advice I can give. Set your team and just sort of cross your fingers and pray to the football gods, and you never know. You never know what will happen.
I'll take that advice and I'll use that. I think I have my chips and I'm gonna use them wisely. I know from the Crown and Anchor that the first game week in April, you got a few double game weeks. So I'm gonna start stacking my team for that.
Yeah.
And start pouring out some chips.
Yeah, we use the free hit and stuff like that to try and squeeze a bunch of guys in. Yeah, there's points out there definitely in April, I think, because I think there's a good few teams that maybe are only on 24 games, and while a lot of teams on 26, there's going to be a lot of games to make up over the last little third of the season.
Yeah. Until next time.
Cool, Fub. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Anytime.